So, welcome to our show. Sorry about that. We just kind of had to get everything set up and going.
Yeah, it's brand new to us.
This is our first time, but welcome. If anybody's watching, we hope you are. Thank you. I'm Corey. This is Glenn. We've been kind of talking about doing this for a while. Finally got together to do it. So, let's get started. We're going to start off the show by talking about the battle going on in Washington right now between RG3, Kirk Cousins, RG3 fans, Kirk Cousins fans. What do you think?
Well, it's pretty apparent right now that everybody wants Cousins. Even before, right now, the fan base, I definitely feel, is on Cousins. He looked great last week against Philly.
Yeah,
he looked good the week before, even though we did lose. It was Jacksonville. And last week he looked terrific, even though it was, and we didn't, even though we did lose.
Mm-hmm.
And RG3 in week 1 did not look good. He hasn't looked good since his rookie year.
No, he hasn't looked good since his rookie year.
And he doesn't want to run anymore. He's just a different player. I think the fan base wants Cousins, as do I, as do you.
I want Cousins. I wouldn't say everybody wants Cousins, though, because I think there's people that are holding on to the idea of RG3 and have this allegiance to him, which is fine. I know earlier we were speaking, you said you think RG3's career is done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. But
I think he's done as a skin.
I don't know. I don't agree with that either. I'm just not sure if I'm sold on the fact of him coming back as a Redskin. He may not. I'm not. I was confident at one point.
What's holding us back right now, and still holding us on him, is how much we spent for him.
That's true.
That's everything right now.
That's true. There's a piece of what could we get for him.
Yeah. And we spent a lot on him. It hasn't worked out yet. He's just starting to look like one of those. So where do the Redskins
stand right now? Do they make the playoffs this year?
Well, we're better than Dallas and we're better than New York.
That's true. Well, it's to be seen Thursday if we're better than New York. I think we are.
And I'm not the only one to say that either. I think we are definitely. If the defense can stop anybody, we'll have a chance.
If we play like we played
Sunday
against the Eagles,
we just missed a field goal. We had missed a few opportunities.
That field goal killed us.
We held the best, barely anything.
If we play like we did Sunday, we will beat Dallas and Giants this season. And we will
the wild card's going to be tough, though. I don't think to make the playoffs because the wild card is loaded with the other the Packers and the Lions and the Bears all competing for one spot.
So do you think when RG3 comes back healthy that he gets his job back?
No, it's Cousins'
job. I don't think he gets his job back.
No, the only chance he has.
I don't think he deserves his job back.
Yeah, yes, I agree. The only chance he gets is the start of next training camp if he impresses. And he's not going to get it back this year. I don't think so.
Get back this year.
I think he's out at least 8 weeks. I think Cousins will have a winning record.
I think we will too.
Or we'll be right at 500, which is better.
Yeah, I think we will too.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think RG3 gets a job back this season.
And it's not that he couldn't. He doesn't deserve it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve it. Kirk Cousins has been there, been Mr. Reliable, whether it's been impressive or not. He's been there, waiting his chance. RG3's been injured once, got his job taken when RG3 came back. You know what I mean? I think Cousins deserves it. I think he's been proving.
You can tell the receivers love playing with him too.
He fits the offense better.
Yeah, he does. He fits the West Coast a lot better, which Jay's trying to run a little bit.
Okay, let's move forward. So your power rankings.
Oh, we're gonna do that. Okay.
Go ahead. Give them to me.
So I ranked my top 5 teams according to, I guess, up to through week 3, and 1 I have Seattle, who is also your Super Bowl pick and my Super Bowl pick.
That is my Super Bowl pick.
I know they did lose last week to San Diego, but San Diego played a flawless game, and I also feel the Chargers are very high on my list. Rivers is up for MVP right now.
I don't think there's a question.
I agree. And they did play a very close game last week, but did come out on top. And it was against the other team that could potentially be in the Super Bowl again, the Broncos.
Right.
2, I have Philly. I hate to pick that because they're the team I hate the most in the NFL. Not to say hate, but I just dislike them a lot. But they're incredible. That offense is really well. We kind of set out a blueprint as to how to potentially slow the running game down. They did not putting 37 points on us.
Yeah.
But I have Philly 2. They're 3-0. They haven't been stopped yet. I think they lose this week in San Francisco. 3, I have San Diego.
Okay.
Right now, because of Phillip Rivers and his ability to, he's just a gamer. He just wins. He's like Russell Wilson.
Yep.
He doesn't necessarily put up
Mr. Reliable.
Yeah. 4, I have Denver. Peyton Manning's on your team. You always get a chance. As you saw last week, you
Absolutely.
You missed it. You missed a great game.
I did miss the game.
But he came. They had under a minute left. He came down, drove, scored the game-tying touchdown. Then they had Arizona.
Typical Peyton
Right now,
Manning
Arizona
fashion.
has the best defense in the NFL. They are winning games with Drew Stanton at quarterback, and Larry Fitzgerald, I think, has under 6 catches on the season, something around that, which is horrible. But they're still winning games. And Tyrann Matthews out. Andre Ellington.
Number 4 is Redskins.
What do you mean number 4? I did my top 5 already.
Your top 5. Well, I would have put the Redskins in there.
No, I'm not that big of a diehard. And that's my 5. So Seattle, Philly, San Diego, Denver, Arizona. Yes, since he's not on my list, not a fan of Andy Dalton. Neither are you.
I'm not a fan of Andy Dalton. I don't think he deserved that contract.
Yeah, neither do I. But I'm not a fan of him. He's got to prove more to me. He has the most talented roster in the NFL, I think. Ahead of San Francisco, ahead of Seattle, but he's got to show me more. You feel the same way, and that's that.
So QB stock market. We kind of touched on this with Kirk Cousins and
a little bit with Kirk and RG3.
I know where their stock lies.
I picked 5 quarterbacks kind of on, not really on the bubble, but either playing well or on the bubble, I guess.
Okay.
And I start with Kaepernick. Kaepernick's stock's going down right now.
I would agree with that. I think it is going down right now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. He's a great talent, but
before the season, I think they had a pretty convincing.
Yeah, he signed a great contract, just like Dalton. But he single-handedly lost that game to Chicago 2 weeks ago. Had 4 turnovers. He's throwing for a great average. He's completed 66 balls this season through 3 games. That's pretty good, 22 a game. But he blew that 3. That they should be 2-1, not 1-2. Right now, he blew that game. He's got to learn to have more touch on the ball. They have to be more dynamic on offense. They have a loaded defense, but Cap's right now stock is down because of that Chicago game. I'm still riding on that. And he did not have a good game last week against Arizona. Aaron Rodgers, stock is kind of at the same. Right now I have him on a mix, kind of down maybe. His stats are okay, 63%, 5 touchdowns to 1 pick, 700 yards. But, yeah, I'd say his stock is the same. But his weakness is that offensive line. They have a lot of injuries on it. They allowed 7 sacks through 2 games and 2 last Sunday, excuse me, and he's in a tough division, so that's not looking too good. Russell Wilson, obviously, quarterback of the Seahawks, stock is way up. He's been playing great. People have been comparing him to Luck this week, saying he's going to be a better quarterback than Luck. I saw that on Twitter, some hashtags. I don't know about all that, but he's a gamer. He's 16-1 at home, and like this stat I shared earlier, he's 10-2.
That's what's interesting. This is a very interesting
10-2 against either Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Kaepernick, and Brees. He's
and that
10-2.
That just speaks volumes.
Those are 5 of the best quarterbacks in the league. And he wins.
I hadn't heard that stat before, probably 20 minutes ago, and that speaks volumes.
It's a stat that doesn't show up really in the stat category. It's just in the wins column.
I mean,
he wins.
It's basically a way of saying the man wins big games.
Yes, exactly.
Against big teams, against experienced quarterbacks,
including the Super Bowl against Manning.
That's like I said.
And he won on Sunday against Manning. And then Foles. He's
wildly inaccurate.
Yes, you feel that on him.
Inaccurate.
I know they're 3-0 and he threw 27 and 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last year, but I have him as stock right around the same. It's not his stock isn't increasing. It's that level maybe decreasing, and it's not a. It's not. I mean, he's just in a very. I've been saying this all season, and towards the end of last season, I said it earlier. He's a very average quarterback in a very quarterback-friendly offense. He makes the offense very easy for him because they run the ball and spread the field so much.
It makes him look great.
Yes, it makes him. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. Everybody in the NFL has talent. They're in there for a reason.
Absolutely.
But I just think anybody can run that offense. I mean, they even said Mark Sanchez, who's the backup, has been running it great in practice and things like that. So that's kind of that not
says a lot.
Yes, exactly.
For the Eagles offense.
And they actually go 2-9 every time they get their first loss. Yeah, exactly. And he's actually thrown for almost 1,000 yards, which is great, but I just don't think he's that good. And then the stock down on my 5th quarterback is E.J. Manuel. Again, his numbers are okay, but you got to watch the film, watch the games. He doesn't have it. He's not in sync with his receivers. He's got a great rookie in Watkins. He can't hit him. He's good at the deep ball, but that's about it. He's 6-7 as a starter, and he's really still people have been saying it all over ESPN and the NFL Network, which you've been watching. Mm-hmm. He's still being babysat in the offense. I
remember you said that earlier. You said he's being babysat. Now, what do you mean by that? Explain that to me.
They're not running the plays they necessarily want to be the running, kind of like the Foles is.
Kind of like
they're running easy plays for him that he knows that he knows he can be successful in.
Oh, okay.
When they should be, running possibly more play action, going deep down the field.
I thought you meant babying him in the way that maybe like RG3 was being babied in our offense. And when I say babied, I mean they didn't let him do what he wanted to, and it set him up for failure.
No, differently.
Okay.
They're babying he's being held back.
So he can be better than he's performing.
He can, but there's also more risk at that too, and that's what they're scared of.
Gotcha.
Which is why baby sack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, is that all you got?
Yep, that's my stock. Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a 180 here to the Premier League.
All right.
So Premier League fans, this is your moment to tune in and turn your volumes up. I'm gonna start off here with Premier League title contenders. This is gonna be a very easy conversation here. It's two. It's Chelsea and it's Manchester City. That's all it is. Chelsea for me is the lead for that.
Playing lights out, absolute lights out soccer.
They are just running rampant. I mean, the Premier League is their playground at this point. They're just firing on all cylinders. Diego Costa is going to be unstoppable this season. Unstoppable. And I wasn't sure when he was coming in. I mean, he had a funky World Cup. He just didn't really seem like he was going to impress me.
He had a very bad World Cup.
He had a very bad World Cup. Just coming in, as soon as he put that Chelsea blue on, I'll tell you, it was just.
I'll say I'm not.
Player.
I was very skeptical with that sign. I mean, he's obviously a world talent.
It was a great
I'll tell you right
signing.
now, nobody expected this. I don't even think Chelsea's fans expected this.
No.
I can honestly say that.
I don't think they did either. And I know some of them are saying, well, yeah, we did expect it. I don't know if you really did expect the start that he's had because it's been incredible. Fabregas same way. I know you didn't expect the start for that.
Really?
I didn't expect it either. I wasn't sure if he was going to fit in, if he was going to like his teammates, if he was going to enjoy playing for Chelsea. I mean, as a former Arsenal player, I know that's where his heart is. That's where his allegiance lies. He said it before. It's just turned out to be outstanding. The biggest point for me for Chelsea is their depth. They're in all competitions this season. Long, grueling competitions against Europe's best competition. It's just that depth is what's so important because you will tire yourself out playing the same tired 11 players. That's why Arsenal begins to fail. We get tired, we get injured, it just sets
That's why
up.
they can win all of Europe, man. They're loaded.
I would say, yeah, we're going to touch on that in a second. But Chelsea, I think, is one of my favorites to win the Champions League. My second favorite for Premier League contender is obviously Manchester City. Both of these teams are just strong, solid teams. Again, depth is a huge, huge key point in both the reasons why I think they're both.
And Aguero really hasn't even got on his.
No, he's not even really opened up yet.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench right now,
which is scary.
Currently,
He started the Chelsea game, but when he gets going with the rest of that team, it's going to be scary.
That sucks for us, Arsenal fans.
Terrifying. So while we're in Manchester United, what is going on in Manchester United? It's comical. It's a bit sad at this point, but let's all take a second laugh at Manchester United. So and this is I've seen this all over kind of the outlets I've been reading but it's a really good point. They have a Ferrari in the front and a Mini Cooper in the back. It's really what it is. They have no back line. They have no back. They're not comfortable.
I like the Rojo signing. He had a great World Cup.
It's a great signing.
Yeah.
But
you gotta have chemistry with each other.
But you gotta have chemistry. I mean, losing Vidic, losing Evra, losing Ferdinand. I mean, you're losing.
Well, that's a hell of a.
You're losing veterans. You're losing guys that are not only your.
We've been playing together for a long time.
Not only your back line, that are your voice in your locker room, that are your guys. Keeping control of the match when things get heated, when players start losing their cool, and the chips are down. It's incredible. Now, a question I know is on everybody's mind is Louis van Gaal the man for the job? I think he is. I'm not a Manchester United fan, but I will give that man as much credit as he deserves.
Well,
he's a great manager.
How I see it is the EPL or whatever soccer league, because you can buy your own players. It's like it's kind of like college football. If a brand new coach is in there, you got to let him wait till his recruits come in and then give him a chance. Now, if Van Gaal doesn't produce here and after a few years he doesn't produce after getting the players he wants, then it's time to go.
I think
you got to give him a minute to get his players in.
I think it was David Moyes' attitude which kind of just I don't know, maybe it was just the stupid look on his face. It was probably a combination of both. But just watching Van Hals, I watch almost every one of his interviews after games and just he's just calm, cool, and collected, and he knows it's a process, and that's what he can't keep stressing
Yeah,
enough.
I've seen that in interviews too. Actually,
He
that's
can't
crazy.
keep stressing enough. This is a process. I'm not David Moyes. I'm not going to tell you we're going to hit the ground running. You know, I'm not. I don't expect to. He has to bring his system in. You know, he has to let everybody get comfortable, and that's what hasn't taken
They're
place
going to be
yet.
scary in 2 years, I think.
They're going to be scary.
Really
If
scary.
they sign, Di Maria has been
That's my man.
insane,
That's my man.
insane this season. He has been absolutely insane. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't see Manchester United qualifying for Europe this year. I don't think they're gonna make. I don't think they're gonna make the top 5. I don't think they're gonna make the top 6. I think they're gonna finish right where they finished last season. Champions League favorites.
Real Madrid, obviously.
I think Madrid is gonna repeat, and I don't say that jokingly. I think they are going to repeat the Champions League. They are just scary good.
Yeah. Ronaldo had 4 today, by the way.
He did have 4 today. It's not even that.
Just saying.
It is Ronaldo, but you have
James is playing great.
James Rodriguez, Toni Kroos, Gareth Bale, Benzema. That team is terrifying. That team is terrifying. And that is something that I have Bayern Munich on here. That is something they lack. They've been unimpressive this season, completely unimpressive. They've won everything the past 2 years, essentially. A core of their team has won the World Cup. What are they playing for? They're playing for nothing. They are showing up, collecting a paycheck, and enjoying the German weather. I mean, really, they're not doing anything.
It's sad.
It is sad. But beyond that, I think Chelsea comes in as a favorite, tied with Real Madrid.
Right now, it's hard. That'd be a hell of a matchup to see right now, man.
I would love to see Madrid and Chelsea in the final.
Today.
I mean, just like granting that the group stages work out that way, and you know they get put in the group. Well, that's no question. That's happening. That's happening based on that point I brought in before, depth. They have the depth to do that, which is.
Yeah, Chicharito's been playing well for Madrid too. I saw the other day.
Chicharito, that's a great point. A brand new signing, and I mean he hasn't scored a goal outside of the 20 yards for the entire time he was in England, essentially. So he must be enjoying his Spanish-speaking compatriots. So Barcelona is also a favorite.
Yeah,
when Suarez is back. When Suarez is back. Without Suarez, I don't think they have that fear.
They don't have enough.
I don't think they have that just fear that Madrid and Chelsea have. Look at last season when Suarez came back for Liverpool, scored a record-setting season with Liverpool, and didn't play the first quarter of the season. So I don't know if I should bring in Gunner's Corner. I'm an Arsenal fan, if you guys can't tell. Glen is also an Arsenal fan. We'll hold this off for another show. I was gonna say your thoughts on Danny Welbeck. You know what? I'll bring it in. Your thoughts on Danny Welbeck. I would love for any Arsenal fans that are watching this live or will watch it later to comment below what your thoughts are on Danny Welbeck so far this season. Has he been fitting in well with the English core? I think he has. I think he needs a little bit more time to adjust, which is fine. It's expected. Arsenal needs to tell him, you're the man now. You're the man. Go forward. You're the man. You're the striker now. You're the go-to guy. Sturridge, when he's at Chelsea, didn't have a great run there. With Liverpool, they said this is your part of the field now. Run around with it, get the ball and score, and the rest is history for Sturridge.
Yeah.
I think once that happens,
same thing there.
I think once Arsenal tell him you're the man, you are our striker. Giroud is not here right now. When he gets back, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. When they tell him you're the man, I think he'll flourish. Alexis Sanchez has been a
heck of a signing.
He was a heck of a signing. I think that's my player of the season so far. Yeah. But let me know what your thoughts are.
Ozil finally scored. I saw.
Ozil.
About time.
That's a great point.
We'll bring it up another time. But
yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. Go ahead. Blazing 5.
All right. So I'll go with my 5 picks this week in the NFL against the spread. Not like the guys on TV that don't pick against the spread. I'll go with Green Bay giving 1 point in Chicago.
For someone who not understand it, I don't understand this stuff.
It's extremely hard to explain.
What is what does the given
It's,
1 point mean? Just break it down.
It's the line Vegas sets
Mhm.
to make the game even. They're taking 1 point from Chicago. So if you bet Chicago,
They're starting the game.
No, they're taking one from Green Bay. Yeah, basically. So if you bet Green Bay,
they would have
in order to win, they have to win by 2 points.
At least 2 points.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you take Chicago, if they lose by 1, you win.
Gotcha. See, I'm not a betting man.
It's hard to understand that. You probably don't get that, but
it's okay.
It comes to Green Bay giving 1 to Chicago. I don't see Green Bay going 1-3 with Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see it.
I would agree.
Chicago is not as good as they look. Cutler could. I just don't feel the Cutler thing. It doesn't have the mental game, but there's just no way. Chicago barely squeaked one out against Geno Smith last night. Speaking of Geno Smith, I'm taking him in the Jets, getting 1.5 point versus Detroit. They showed great talent last night. The Jets did. Ran the ball well. I love how Rex Ryan blitzes. I know they don't have the greatest secondary against Calvin Johnson, who is unstoppable. But I think they get a hold of Stafford soon enough, and the offensive line doesn't hang up, and I see them running all over Detroit. Then I got Philly. As my third one, I have Philly getting 5.5. The better team here is getting 5.5. They're playing in San Francisco, but the better team is getting points. Even though it's away, you got to take it. Dallas. Again, New Orleans has looked horrible. I have them in my Super Bowl, and they've looked horrible.
They're looking too good right now.
I know, but I think they'll come around. It's breeze. It's got to. I have Dallas plus getting 3 points in New Orleans, and then I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know about that one, man.
Dallas. You saw Dallas. Dallas's offense has looked great, and New Orleans has looked bad, and that defense has looked bad.
I don't think I have Dallas.
They almost lost. There was a close game to the fourth quarter against Minnesota last week. The Adrian Peterson left Minnesota. And then I took the Skins.
What you got for the Skins?
Who are giving 3.5 points against the Giants Thursday night. I just think we dominate the trenches. The defensive line, the offensive line. Nobody can stop us running the ball. You saw last week. And Cousins looked great against a better Philly defense than the Giants. And I don't see how Giants score. I just don't. They're not going to run on them. We'll stop the run. We stopped McCoy, so we'll stop whoever. And Manning's got to beat us. I like when Manning has to beat us. I like our odds. I'll take the 3.5, and that's my Blazing 5.
We got some EPL predictions for this coming weekend. Got a big weekend. Got a big rivalry weekend, somewhat. We got Liverpool and Everton. I see that game going 2-2. I see him tying it. I think both those teams are strong right now. I almost have Everton at 3-2. It's gonna be a barn burner. It's gonna be
who scores goals for them.
It's gonna be a goal scoring affair. I got Swansea versus Sunderland. Swansea's winning that game 2-0. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. I got Chelsea at 4-1. I mean, hopefully it's not more, but I bet you it might be. Southampton versus QPR. Southampton's gonna win that game. Hull City versus Manchester City. That's an easy one. Man City's gonna win 3-0, if not more. Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Now those teams have faced each other a lot last season. So I got that game at 2-2. Man United versus West Ham. This was interesting because I wasn't sure what to pick for these guys.
Yeah.
I really wasn't sure. Not because West Ham's a good team. It's because Manchester United is so vulnerable right now. I mean,
they have no chem.
That game versus Leicester was just shocking. Up 3-1, lost 5-3. Manchester United winning that game 2-1. I do. The mighty Arsenal.
Can't go against them.
Versus Tottenham.
Rival.
Tottenham, the 12:30 game. I got Arsenal winning that one 2-1. That's no shocker. But we're going to branch off here a second. We're going to go. So FIFA 15 released.
Yes, we just played it. We just played the demo, at least.
I played the demo before. Glenn played the demo for the first time today. What'd you think? What were your thoughts?
Just for playing that first half, it's just a better game. It sounds boring to say.
It feels like butter, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's incredible.
It's very smooth. Now, I have a friend who initially wasn't a fan. Now, I don't know what he thinks now. But the build-up play is so important. It's really important.
Oh, yeah. It's harder.
You can't just sort of aim your mouse and press the pass, or aim the joystick and press the pass button. It's not going to find him as easily as it was in FIFA 14.
Heading is harder.
Heading on crosses has been fixed, I would say. It's been fixed. Before it was kind of just like
Get it in the box in your goal.
go to the wing, get in the box, you're in. More realistic, I would say. More realistic
I feel like
movements.
that's every game, every new
Yeah.
game though. But
It progresses. But I would say the movements are more. When I'm turning on the ball, there's a little more lag, a little more step, a little more time on the ball. The reactions, like if I trip over someone, I'm not going to get up as quick. I'm not going, and if I trip, I'm going to roll. It's a little more.
and you can slide all the way up to the goalie now.
You
You can
can.
go all the way up to the goalie.
The goalies have been improved too. The goalies are a
Right,
little
they
better.
were already pretty tough. I struggled.
They're already pretty tough, but they have more reactions. Again, back to the reactions piece. They react to the ball a little better, more realistically.
And we haven't seen it on PS4 or Xbox One, so we don't have much to say about the graphics.
Right.
We are watching on Corey's incredible TV.
Yes. If I have
But,
$1 for every megapixel my television had, I would have $1. I would.
That's the line of the show.
I would have $1.
Yeah, we don't have much to say about that.
Let's put something else here.
Okay, what we got? Anything else?
This is something you and I talked about earlier.
Okay.
This is something I've had a grievance with you
Oh, God.
in the past. But let's just bring it up. This is the first show.
Okay.
We're getting to know each other. We're getting to know everybody who's watching. So, your teams.
I don't have any. I have two teams.
This is something that upsets me about Glen.
I have 2 teams in all of sports.
Not just
3
about-
teams in all of sports. Because Arsenal. I'll say Arsenal too. But I'm not even the biggest Arsenal fan.
I will visit that,
Okay. I know you will.
but what are your teams?
I'm a
What are
diehard.
your teams? What are your teams?
Don't have an. I guess
You
the
ha-
Redskins are technically. I was born into them. That does not mean I am not a diehard.
No skipping around.
I am not a
Your
diehard.
teams, bottom line, no questions asked. The three teams, let's just say, in 3 separate sports, you support no matter what.
My football
Like,
team is LSU.
Okay.
I'll say that.
That's college football. Okay, that's
Mhm.
one category. And no other team takes that place.
No, not that's my one. Them and the New York Knicks and Arsenal
Okay,
football
so
are my 3 diehards.
basketball,
Are
that's
my 3.
So we got the Knicks. That's another one here.
Mhm.
What about
NFL.
NFL?
I'm a players guy.
I just don't like when people say that.
I
I
don't.
don't hold anything.
Rooting for the Skins is not fun for me.
It's not supposed to be fun. It's so
They're in my blood, so
okay.
I partially have to root for them. But
They don't
I
have
love
to. We
Russell.
don't
I
want
love
your,
Russell Wilson.
We don't want your pity cheer.
I'm telling you right now, I don't have an NFL team.
We don't need your I have to root for them. You don't have to root for us. Okay. So NFL team.
I'll say the Redskins because if they win the Super Bowl, I
But now
would go
everyone
nuts.
heard you give it a huge
Oh
introduction.
no, you're forcing me to choose. So.
Who's your NFL team that's not the Redskins?
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Okay. And they were prior to the Super Bowl?
When Russell Wilson was drafted.
Okay.
But the Super Bowl run definitely made me fall for them more.
Okay. I understand what you say when you say that
Mhm.
because I am a player's.
It's
fan.
hard not to root for him. The stuff he does off the
I'm
field.
let me say this. I'm a player's fan, yes, but I have my teams,
Mhm.
and nothing is gonna take them away from me.
Well, that's you with Arsenal for sure.
I'm an
You're-
Arsenal fan.
I mean, look at your back and your right arm. I mean,
I've been an Arsenal fan for as long as I can remember.
you're the biggest diehard of any sport team. I
I'm
know.
also a Redskins fan, and I have been a Redskins fan for as long as I can remember.
Mhm.
And there's no poor record that will take that away from me. I'm also an Orioles fan, but I'm not an Orioles fan that hates the Nationals because they're out there.
I like the O's.
They're out there.
Mhm.
But do you have an MLB team?
It'd be the O's.
It would be the O's.
I was a big Yankees fan, but that was because Robinson
See,
Cano was
you're
there.
all over the place.
I'm a player. Let me finish talking.
Okay.
Cano,
You're a
but
player.
he left.
Yeah.
So I like players. He was on the Yankees, so I like the Yankees. But now I do not.
So this is something I encountered in my travels.
I get it a lot.
No, not this, but a separate subject, was Orioles fans that hate Nationals fans.
I've never heard of the hatred. I would like to explain
Or
this,
that
really.
hates the Nationals, period.
I haven't heard it before, really.
Now, and
We
it goes,
could have a battle of Beltway for the World Series.
we very well could, and it goes both ways
Mhm.
too. It's also Nationals fans that hate Orioles fans, which I don't really get. But
And there's no need for any of it. Yeah.
it's just like it's kind of along the same lines as Ravens and Redskins, but at the same time it's not, because Ravens and Redskins. Ravens fans have enough. I say this so lightly, and I'm gonna regret saying this probably. Have enough history to like not really have a lot of beef with Redskins fans.
Well, they have history because they go back to the Colts and.
Yeah, I know, and like I know they left in a bad way, but it's like again, that's why I say they have enough history, quote unquote, to not really dislike Redskins fans, but just like that hatred exists. But for Orioles fans, the Nationals weren't there for a lot of it. I know they have history also. I believe they were the Senators prior.
Mm-hmm.
But for Orioles fans, there was.
I think it's so new to them. I think they hate that their sole team around here.
Probably, and the fact that they're mildly successful.
They're very good.
They're kind of like the noisy neighbors.
Yeah.
They're like the noisy neighbors, I would say. But I encountered Orioles fans that hate Nationals fans, and Nationals fans that hate Orioles fans.
I've never seen the hatred.
Now, a good point was a Nationals fan said to me was, for Orioles fans and for Ravens fans, if there's a winning season or there's a winning streak or something, or like a winning, we clinched the division, everyone is gonna go out and get a T-shirt. So it's a funny point because I was like, I kind of was like, does that make sense? But then I was like, you know what? I can imagine that. Like people that aren't really Orioles fans are like, wait, we did what? We clinched the division? I'm getting a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's how it was before the Ravens won their. I even think this most recent Super Bowl.
But the point I made to him was, every city's like that in some way or another. Every city is like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got people that don't like the Wizards, but you got the Wizards doing well. Everyone wants to be the Wizards.
They come out of the woodworks when your local team is playing well.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard for me. The Skins haven't won much since I was born in '91.
That's pretty true.
Now, when RG3 was a rookie, that was great.
And then you became a Redskins fan again.
I always rooted for them. My father made me root for him. That's who
Right.
was on TV, too local, so you see him. And then I got to understand. I started playing, the old video games and started learning players. And now the social media, I can see what Russell Wilson's doing off the field, which makes me fall for him. He's such a great person, and see what Cap's doing.
He is a great person.
And you see him all over TV. It's totally changed, but
I will give you that. He was a great person. I just didn't understand the hatred.
I agree. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, it exists. Now, I don't like Ravens fans.
I like some of them.
I don't like Ravens fans. I don't dislike the Ravens. See, that's the thing. There's a dynamic there. There's a difference there.
No, I completely agree with you. I don't dislike the Ravens necessarily, but the fans are. I don't know, I guess you get to the diehards. They think they're going to win a lot. They think they're going to win every game. That's a diehard.
Which is fine. I'm a diehard Ravens. I'm a diehard Redskins fan. I'm a diehard Arsenal fan. We might not win a lot, but that's fine to exist that way.
Yazel it.
I got to give a shout out to Dr. Yazel, for sure.
I hope you're watching. I hope you're one of our viewers.
Hope he's watching.
Because this show wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you and your class.
It's true. It wouldn't be here. Little backstory, I guess. Glenn and I met in
at Anne Arundel Community College. 2011 spring. I don't know.
Maybe. But sports psychology class, Dr. Yazel. If you're watching,
please take it.
Respect.
Try to get my brother to take it.
Awesome class.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond that, we just like to tell everyone to subscribe.
If you have any topics you want to talk about, comment it on our page. I'm sure you've already liked it if you're viewing.
Hopefully you have subscribed at the very least.
We're still trying to figure this out. So if callers, I have some buddies of mine that are going to be on next episodes and talk about things. And we're still trying to figure out this Google Plus. But now that we do know it's on Google Plus, we can add people into the call. You will be seen.
So that's the thing. We can
kind of like a Skype. You will be seen by everybody.
And we're going to be taking calls. You
can comment on it. We can see who's commenting. Any topics, let us know. I'll be touching on college football next time. We just really wanted to test this out.
One thing we could end with, I forgot to touch on, was we're going to hit the Premier League one more time before we check out. Is Cristiano Ronaldo returning?
Should you hold that off? I guess you can say it.
I don't know. Why not? Let's visit it.
Well, like you said, if they don't make the Premier League this year,
the Champions League,
excuse me. I don't think he comes.
I don't think he comes either. But
that's huge. That's why
we don't know.
That's why Di Maria held it off so long because they're not in the.
Di Maria came for the money. Di Maria came from the
Well, they have been in talks for a very long time since the end of the World Cup.
That's why you have to pay that much for a player, is because you're not playing any games in Europe.
Man, that's huge. I didn't know it was that big.
If Ronaldo returns, what are the odds that he does return? If Ronaldo returns, what are their chances? Do they need more attackers, or do they need defensive players?
They need defensive and midfielders.
Well,
Di Maria's playing great, but
Daley
he's one player.
Daley Blind was a great signing for Manchester United. He can play that role. I think
give it time. Rojo, who's the other defenders they signed?
I don't even know.
I thought they signed somebody else from the Netherlands national team, but I could be wrong.
Daley Blind.
Oh, okay.
Daley Blind.
Okay.
Not that Manchester United deserves any more time on our
but
show.
give it time. They should. They will be a force to be reckoned with in 3 years. 2 to 3 years.
Maybe next year. Maybe the end of the season. Maybe they click.
Yeah.
Maybe they click. That's it for us, really. We're going to go ahead and check out. Make sure you hit the like button from the end of this video. Comment. Please subscribe. Go like our page on Facebook.
Give us topics you want to talk about.
Yep.
Join us. Like I said, we got people that are joining next episode, which will probably be this week.
Hopefully this week.
I'm going to try to get a few out a week.
So we're going to be doing the Hangouts. We're going to be recording the videos via Hangout as opposed to streaming live on YouTube. It'll still be live, and you can still watch it live, but you'll actually be able to participate a little better. You'll be able to call in if you want to talk about something that strikes you. You want to comment at us. It's fine. We'll read everything. We'll take it all in. We'll bring it to our next show. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. I hope we weren't too boring.
We were both very nervous. We did a bunch of work for this, but
yeah, we worked hard. Hopefully it paid off. We're gonna take this and upload it from here. Again,
please watch.
All right, thanks guys.